What's up everyone, my name is Mike and welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking Deadpool. I picked up a few Deadpool on the app as soon as he dropped in the aftermarket. Obviously didn't get him in the drop, but waited for that aftermarket to open to see what I could get him at. Let's get into this. Now this followed immediately after Groot, where I made a game plan for Groot. I picked up a Groot, but then Deadpool dropped and I was just super excited to get in on a Deadpool. Despite him being a festive holiday Deadpool, I was excited to get in on him. And even if you don't want that festive Deadpool, you can actually get the common without the festive shirt on. It just got the Santa hat on, and that's one that you can get into, and I think that's going to be a really valuable one moving forward. At the time, I didn't know much about VEVE, and I was still tasting the VEVE market, and what I did was I actually picked up an uncommon, picked up a rare, and picked up the ultra rare. Now, as time went on with that, I quickly decided to exit out of my positions out of the uncommon and the rare, but I still hold on to the ultra rare today. This is actually dating back to December 18th when I picked them up. And I picked them up one by one. I went the uncommon, and then I decided, you know what, I need to get the rare. And then I decided, you know what, the ultra rare is animated and I think it's at a good price. I'm gonna pick them up. So I picked up 1, 2, 3 right away like that. And really at this time, I didn't know much about VEVE. I didn't know much about the platform, and I didn't really create a game plan with these. I didn't know price predictions. I didn't know how to set them. I didn't know what to do. I actually kind of panic bought into the market for these. Luckily, it's pretty much worked out for each one that I exited out of and for the ultra rare that I hold right now. So for the ugly sweater Deadpool, I picked him up at 90 gems and eventually I sold him for 140 gems. I felt it was a good time to get rid of him, and it turns out it was, because today in February he's sitting now back at that 90 gem range. This was also the same time that I decided to sell my Marvel Mighties, which we talked about in another video. So this was January 19th when I decided to exit out of the uncommon and the rare. And so the rare Candy Cane Combat, I picked him up for 140 gems and I sold him for 200, making a profit of 60 gems. And the ultra rare I continue to hold on to today, and it's sitting somewhere around that 500 gem range. It's reached up to about 800 gems. And I thought about exiting somewhere in the 600s a couple of times actually, and I actually listed them a couple times. And that was a couple of weeks ago now, and we've seen collectibles all across the board drop over these couple of weeks. Deadpool up until that 500 range, even reaching the high 400s. And honestly, if I had the gems to deploy, I would probably pick up another ultra rare Deadpool, or perhaps flip some things to get that secret rare. I do think that Deadpool is going to be worth a lot moving forward as more Deadpool movies are released, and Deadpool maybe shows up in some more Marvel movies. I just think it's a valuable character. I just think what they've done with the character has been amazing since it actually first appeared in that Wolverine movie. I think it's a completely unique character and something that's going to be valuable moving forward as more people get drawn to this Deadpool character. The story with Ryan Reynolds bringing Deadpool as a character to an R-rated movie and the success behind that is just an amazing story, and there's going to be more amazing success with this Deadpool character moving forward in the MCU. The only downside being that it is a festive holiday Deadpool. And we saw this with Groot, where Groot in the aftermarket actually priced lower than what Groot actually went for on that blind box with the common and the uncommons. And we talked about that in the previous video, how the Groot was undervalued, so I picked up a Groot as well. So really, with not knowing the market and not really knowing VEVE really well, I was using this opportunity to really learn how the markets fluctuate with Deadpool. So this was actually the first collectible where I loaded up more gems for since I got the Iron Man back in November. So I refreshed and I saw the gems and I saw the floor price for Deadpool raise higher and higher. And it was actually this time where I actually learned about what it means to actually fear on missing out of the market. And so I picked up the uncommon as soon as I could, because I'd actually tried to pick up the lowest floor price and it just wasn't working, and I saw those gems going up and up and up. So I actually learned not to go for the lowest floor price on that list in the aftermarket, because those get picked up really quickly. What you want to do is maybe go for a higher priced gem amount than what that floor price is at. Get in there because less people are going to be going for that one, as long as that fits within your budget for what you are allocating and the price prediction that you have for that collectible. And so I learned a lot in this aftermarket. I learned how to go about purchasing in the aftermarket, and I learned about that fear of missing out and to stick to a game plan and set a game plan in the first case. And so that uncommon came first, and then I decided, you know what, that rare is looking really good. I'm gonna pick up the rare as well. So I loaded up more gems and waited a little bit for the right opportunity to pick up that rare. And then I waited a little bit more and I saw that ultra rare and I saw that it was animated, and I thought, you know what, I need to get me one of those. So I loaded up even more gems, and I saw the gem floor price for that ultra rare increase. And I thought, you know what, this isn't going down. I'm going to get in on it right away, right here, right now. So I picked up that ultra rare. And it's a good thing that this actually worked out for me in the short term here, being a month later that I sold out of these positions. And so I was able to make a profit on that rare and on that uncommon, and I was able to use those gems for other purchases in the market that I really wanted. Because ultimately I'm happy with just one Deadpool. I'm happy that I got an animated one. I went up for that ultra rare, and if I sold out of that ultra rare today, I would be up about 120 gems or so. And that's after it's decreased quite a bit. I could have realized my gains at 100%, made about 300 to 400 gems on it, and then purchased back in today where it's sitting fairly low. And I think this is actually a good price to get in on Deadpool. This is an advice. You shouldn't follow my plan. You should make your own plan for collectibles and what you want to do with those collectibles and what gains you want to realize from them. We're seeing a major drop in VeVe collectibles these days. And I think characters that are not in the news, or there's no projects coming up that they're going to be in the short term, these are characters that are experiencing the lowest lows on the platform, and they're decreasing the most. Deadpool being one of these characters. I think Deadpool 3 is not coming out for a couple of years yet. And who knows when we're going to see an appearance of Deadpool in the MCU. All of this leads to no Deadpool news coming out, no hype for Deadpool, unless people really interested in the character at this moment in time. Still, there's a huge fan base for Deadpool, and that's going to continue to grow as more news comes out about the Deadpool character. And the reason why I mentioned theatrical releases, TV show appearances, is that this appeals to a broader audience than just comics. And that's what in the long term is going to cause prices of collectibles to really increase, is that larger mass audience looking for these characters. And Deadpool's definitely got that appeal to it. So for now, I'm going to hold on to my ultra rare Deadpool. I've got no plans of selling him just yet. And ultimately, where the price is sitting right now, where I would make maybe 120 gems, which is about a 33 to 40% gain on this Deadpool, I'm not quite happy with that, and I'm more than happy to hold this for the longer term. Which is interesting, because with this online space, longer term is 6 months or so. But really, in an investment game, that's such a short-term window to look at. So really, the short term is really the immediate future, 1, 2, maybe 3 months out. Longer term would be looking at 6 months to a year out. And when you hear me talking about short term and long term, those months can really vary. When I talk about VeVe over the long term, I'm really mentioning that VeVe in years down the road is going to be the major platform, in my opinion, in my beliefs, and it's going to be where people flock to get these collectibles. But when I talk about a collectible long term, I'm really looking at this year. What's going on this year for that collectible? What news is going to come out for that collectible? And what catalyst is going to cause that collectible to increase in price? And this is where I struggle with in my vault right now, because I've got a bunch of characters that I love, and I'm not really willing to sell them in this short term. I'm really looking towards the VeVe game long plan, long term, because I think all of these collectibles are going to raise in price throughout the board. It just depends which collectibles are going to raise more than others. And I honestly think that if you have an animated first appearance, those are collectibles that you're going to want to hold on to, especially if it's a character that you have interest in, that you like as a collectible and not just an investment. And so that's where I stand with my Deadpool. I was happy to get rid of the uncommon and flip that for some more gems. I was happy to get rid of the rare and flip that for some more gems. But I really like this ultra rare animated, so I think I'm going to hold on to him for the long term on the VeVe platform. So I'm talking years down the road. I wouldn't even mind picking up a secret rare if I save up for that, but that's lower on the list of my priorities for where I'm going to allocate my gems in this short term. I've got other collectibles that I've got my eyes at, and I'm looking at filling up sets in my collection so that I can collect points with the MCP. And so that's my plan with Deadpool. Let me know in the comments what your plan would be. If you have a Deadpool, what your plan is with that. Please like this video if at all you found it helpful, if you found anything interesting from what I've been talking about, and subscribe for more VeVe information here on this channel. Thank you so much for watching.